Yay! What's up, Twitch and YouTube people? We're here with Cameron,
Hey,
another
what's up?
celebrity. Yo, how are you? Let's
I'm
let's
doing
act
pretty
like
good.
let's pretend like we haven't been like talking for 5 minutes already,
Yeah.
and like we're just meeting now. Like you're just rolling in the show.
Yeah, hey, I'm doing well. It's things are good on my end. How are you doing?
Good. Bit stressed. This is my first stream with a guest. You know what? I actually wanted to ask the chat if you can hear us all well. I could really use a little feedback if it's all good. Yeah, people, please let us know if the sound is even. Both good. Yay, yay. Awesome. Is it
Yeah.
even?
Oh,
Balanced? Yeah,
even
if
balanced.
anything is
Maybe
wrong,
I can
just
be a
let
little
us know.
louder. That's okay too.
Huh?
Yeah. Do you hear me? Maybe I said maybe I can be a little louder.
You could be a
That's
little
fine too.
louder.
No, no, no. I was like in the mix. I mean, sorry, I'm being confusing.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
if you
yeah.
your mixing is not interfering with the stream, I believe. So, yeah, should be all right. Okay,
Cool.
well, honestly, I spent the past 1.5 hour setting up this stream, so I I didn't really figure out what we were gonna do today. I was like, yeah, I will put it together, and then I maybe can, I will look up some saucy Reddit post from angry guitarists or something. We can
Oh
have a look
yeah,
at or
that sounds great.
whatever. Yeah, I know it sounds great, but this is the first time I'm hosting a guest stream, so yeah, I kind of ran out of time a little bit. Gosh, I haven't even touched the guitar today. Not at all. I haven't played a single note. And I won't play a single note today.
Oh,
I'm skipping.
wow. You're taking a rest day?
Um
Is
well,
that a thing?
yeah, I mean it not intentionally, I didn't plan. I wanted to play guitar today. It's just hang on. Maybe I can change your camera a little bit. Okay, yeah, this is the best I can do. This is the best I can do. Okay. Hey Cappy, thanks for the feedback. So I didn't want to skip today. I actually wanted to spend this whole day playing guitar. That's what's written in my calendar. Play guitar all day. That's scheduled. But yesterday I got this email from YouTube that my not YouTube, Google, that my Google Ads account is suspended,
Oh,
and
really?
it's going to be permanently closed if I'm not fixing it. And you know how, so Google Ads and like YouTube, my YouTube channel, my YouTube AdSense, and everything is like connected. And I freaked out yesterday, so this is what I've been doing since I woke up today. So maybe I don't know if I'm
You
gonna lose like monetization or something, but I don't know. This is what I was doing all day.
Yeah, see, this is why I don't curse on my channel.
Huh?
This is why I don't curse on my channel. Gotta be careful with that.
Yeah, you're
I
just
do you know what it was? Like, was it something that you did?
so it's not YouTube related. It's actually my shop. It's my shop. So
Oh,
we are
yeah.
using, the
Yeah.
same supplier. I think you're using Shopify too, right? So
Yeah.
I wanted, on some YouTube channels you have, so when you scroll down under a video, you have these listings, like, the shit they sell, and you can just click on the stuff and buy them. And I wanted that too. So I connected my Shopify to my Google Ads account and that to my YouTube account. And apparently I was violating some kind of policy.
Hmm.
So they just shut it down.
Oh, yeah. No, the same exact thing happened to me too.
Oh,
With
really?
yeah, like because I used to be able to advertise like my shirts and stuff on my actual YouTube channel, but I can't anymore. And there's some issue. I have no idea what it is. There's a lot of stuff that I don't really know what's going on with Shopify.
Oh my God.
I'm
It's
just sort of
so
like
annoying.
I might be a criminal. I don't know. It's
Shit.
like with taxes and stuff.
That's so
It's
weird. I don't know. So I spent all day, and we are getting like, closer and closer to figure it out. But it's a mess, and it's just so stressful. And every time I'm sitting, for like 6 hours in front of my desk, trying to, scrolling through policies and like term of use and all sorts of things and the rules from YouTube. I'm always like thinking about that. I just wanted to play guitar. That's how it started. I just wanted to play guitar. I didn't want to have a job. I wanted to hang out at home. I wanted to share my silly little artwork with people and my silly little t-shirts. And now I'm sitting here for 6 hours crying over all these legal notices. It's just so much pain. So annoying.
Oh yeah, no, it's not fair.
No, it's
it
not.
that that is definitely something that happens. You're never just a guitarist as you get older.
Oh yeah,
You're a
yeah, yeah.
guitar entrepreneur.
Oh
There
yeah,
has to be something.
and it's like the smaller and smaller portion of what you're doing is the actual guitar playing. I don't know about you, but for me it's definitely shrinking.
Oh yeah, I never play guitar.
You're just
Like the
recording
whole
these
fast forward
videos
thing,
like
that's a lot.
you're
I
just
changed the clock.
pretending.
I practice like 5 minutes a day.
I mean, the videos you're doing, the practice log, it's at least it's like a push, right? To
Yeah, yeah.
at
Well,
least.
yeah, that's the thing. It started very like honest. Or I'm saying like I'm pretending like I'm lying right now. I don't lie with the clock. I don't change the clock. That's it's obvious that I don't change the clock too, because sometimes only like 50 minutes goes by and it's like, well, that's it today. Um, no, yeah, it started very like I'm just trying to practice more. But now as I'm finding like the stuff that gets the most clicks is like when I'm not playing at all and just like being like a smartass. That's like the only
It's
that's the
so
stuff that gets the most.
weird. Yeah. It's
So it just goes back
funny.
to not playing anymore.
It's like you're renting videos or like not renting reaction videos where you I don't know. Yeah, it's like, the more polarizing you are, it's just that's that gets the clicks, right?
Yeah.
Like last time I saw your tappy tappy video when you were I would say criticizing, not criticizing, like reacting to Marcin tappy tappy.
Yeah. I didn't think I was criticizing that hard, but
No, no,
a lot
it's
of people thought I did. But
no, you didn't
I thought I was
criticize
just saying
him.
stuff
You
that I
didn't
thought everybody
criticize
was
him.
thinking.
You were
Like,
talking about the style, right?
yeah, just like just I talk that way about like any style,
Uh-huh.
except for classical maybe.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't know if you see it, but Brandon is in the chat. Hey Brandon, good to see you. I
Oh,
just I just
wow.
realized. He says, "What's up, friends? Nice to see you two hanging out. Nice to see you
Yeah.
in the chat. You can hang out with us next time.
Yeah, that'd
It
be
would be
awesome.
cool. It would be cool.
You can now that you know this whole thing works.
Yeah, now that
You're
I'm
good.
yeah, now that I figured it out, I can invite actual celebrities.
Yeah. You're not wasting anybody's time.
Yeah, but this is fine.
You
I
know, I
told
wasn't
you,
doing
you're my
anything.
guinea pig.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
I told you the first person I thought would be really cool to have for this stream or on this little thing. It was you, because I think you would have a really good streaming personality if you ever decide to start streaming. I think it would be really cool.
Yeah, I just think streaming's super lame, so I never do it.
Okay, I deserved it.
I just get booted after that.
Yeah, so it was nice chatting with you. Anyway,
Yeah, all right. Yeah,
yeah.
no, I streaming. I maybe it would probably be better. I feel like I spend so much time editing. Which, oh yeah, I wanted to ask. You've been like looking at editors. How's that going? Am I
I
allowed to talk
have
about this?
I have a
Just like,
fantastic editor, Eduardo, and I'm not telling any more about him because I'm keeping him for myself.
good, yeah,
I don't want anyone. I don't want anyone with a job offer near him because I don't know. It's just I rely so much on him right now. He's editing basically everything for me now.
yeah,
But the problem is because so now he's editing and I'm not editing. So that means that I'm not producing more videos. I'm just using my free time to read Shopify legal, terms of legal notices and such.
That's good that
So
you're actually doing that.
it's a
You should
huge
let me
win.
know what you
Yeah,
learn.
it's a huge win. It's amazing. But my idea with the editor was that maybe I can, get more stuff out there. But I just really didn't have much time to edit lately. With I went to the Guitar Summit, and then I edited that
Oh
one
yeah, that was
video, the
cool.
Guitar Summit vlog. I did that. But
Mhm.
yeah, having an editor is like I wish I convinced myself to do it so much earlier, and I just couldn't really commit to it until I felt like it's financially like sustainable, like I'm not
Mhm.
losing a lot more money than what the videos are making or what the videos are getting eventually. It also
Yeah.
helps that now sometimes the videos I make get sponsors, so I feel like, okay, if the video flops, I still have this, I still have some cash that I can burn on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. Video editing is just so time consuming. It can be a lot of fun. It can be so much fun. I really enjoyed editing my videos. But now I can see that the time I'm winning by having an editor, I can use it so much better. I mean, not so much better. I can use it to focus or structure my weekly work so much better. Like I'm writing better videos, and
Mhm.
I'm just handling the things that I really have to be. Yeah. Did you
Yeah.
Are you thinking of finding an editor?
Well, so unless I can find one, my channel at this point brings in $70 a month through ads. So if I
Congrats,
can find one
sweet.
that'll
That's cool.
take that, 20 videos a month, $70. Boom, screw you.
I'm not
No, so
laughing. You're
I
just phrasing it in a funny way. I wouldn't laugh otherwise.
yeah.
You're just
No,
making it sound funny. It's not funny.
the thank you. No, some videos I really enjoy editing. And
Uh-huh.
maybe that's like the narcissist in me. Because all my videos are like all the talking portions are improvised. I'm sure that it's like very obvious that they're improvised. But sometimes like I'll just talk for like 30 minutes and it feels like 1 second went by.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like the whole thing is just like coherent and it's like something. And then I'm just editing it and I'm like, oh, this is like fire. Like I'm spitting facts right now. Because I
You're
don't even remember
patting your
saying
old
any of it. But it just
own shoulder.
yeah, it's just like this is all great. Like I did a great job on this. And those are the videos that I would never get tired of editing. But then there are some that are just like a slog to
Uh-huh.
edit, where I'm just like being stupid and I don't even know what I'm talking about, and I have to like move stuff around to make it like somewhat coherent.
Yeah.
And those are just annoying.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but you know, that's it would be wrong, I feel, to subject somebody else to that too. So maybe I should edit them or just get better at making videos.
You know,
Or
what I
yeah.
learned is that I think I wouldn't be really able to outsource these very personal videos, where you the type of conversational style you're doing, it's really hard to edit, I think, for anybody other than you. So the
Yeah,
type of
that's
video
true.
I'm outsourcing are scripted videos where I have like a really solid plan how the video is going to how I'm going to build up the video, and not like when I say scripted, not words by words, but like
Hmm.
when you have a sense of structure, so you can send that over to the editor and you say, this is the vision, this is the idea, and just trim everything that's not adding to the point, and there you go. So that's just that's more like labor. I think it feels more like
Yeah.
labor to edit because you're just trimming out the unsuccessful parts, but the structure is pretty obvious. And when you're talking about, I don't know, like the reaction videos, I think the nuances or the interesting part is often in the slower parts.
Hmm.
The things you would trim out if it was a fast-paced video. You know, so you leave a lot of stuff in your videos that, you know, that maybe someone with a more modern style, or like more I don't know,
Standards.
trendy editing style would trim. And I think
Yeah.
that's like one of the essence of your videos.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's supposed to be like very personal.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you watch enough of my videos, you kind of know who I am to a pretty large extent.
You know, this is
So,
actually bringing up a question. So we are running a Q&A in the chat, in the YouTube chat right now. So
oh,
if you have any questions to Cameron or me or both of us, just use the Q&A feature, function, feature, whatever. There's this Q&A thing. I don't know. You can figure it out. But there's one question. And Cappy asked, could you introduce Cameron to us? Me. So yeah. So Cappy is not a classical guitarist, but I'm sure a lot of you guys know who Cameron is because he's a superstar on YouTube.
oh yeah.
I don't know. Would you mind introducing yourself for us in just, you know, just briefly? You know, just don't take too
Well,
long.
like, just don't what? Be stupid? Don't lie? Well, like Beatrix said, a superstar, but like, I don't know, times infinity that probably. No, I'm a classical guitar like guy on YouTube. I make like sort of vlog style videos, just documenting like my practice and videos like that. I'm relatively unpopular. I have like almost 2,000 subscribers, but a nice little fan base. So you know, and I've been doing that for like a year.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so that's pretty much who I am. Yeah. Any other questions? Anything for the Q&A?
Hang
Do I
on.
know anything else?
Do we have anything else? Let me check. I don't know. But yeah, guys, feel free to use this feature. Yeah, but if you're just sending the messages into the chat straight, we might not see them because they can get lost. But if you're using the Q&A feature, we surely gonna get to answer everything. Yeah, you know what? I've been I really like the idea of daily practice logs because when I started out on the internet when I was a baby, it was 2020 and I was streaming like 4 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, at Saturday or Sunday, I think. So 4 times a week on
Hmm.
Reddit. And it really I really loved it with all the weirdness. It was just, oh my god. It was weird, but I still loved it because it really pushed me to to commit to a plan, to commit to a practice plan, show up every day or every other day, and that was just so helpful, and I learned so much about myself. When now I'm streaming maybe twice a week, I try to stream twice a week, but like for example, now I'm talking to you, I'm not practicing.
Yeah.
I haven't played the guitar today, and it's not the same. So I don't know. Do you feel like
Which
you
that
learned something, or like? I mean, I'm sure you
well
learned
that
something.
actually brings a good point here because we got something in the chat. Could you talk about music, or is this stream dedicated to the streaming itself? I guess so. That's kind of the thing with being like a influencer classical guitarist. So it just stops being about guitar after a while. It just becomes the streaming process. So this might as well just be a streaming stream. Um, yeah. But did you ask me something? I had a question for you that I was kind of curious about.
What
Did you ask me something?
you
I
have
forget.
a
Anyways,
what?
when you started streaming, sorry, I don't know.
Yeah,
When you
don't
started
mind. I mean,
streaming, like,
yeah, go
what was
ahead.
there
Sorry,
delay?
sorry.
Okay, it's all good. When you started streaming, like, was there, like, I'm sure there was this point, but I wonder how long it lasted. Did you ever feel like you were just like streaming alone and like no one was watching you? Like, how long did that last for?
Oh, I was incredibly lucky because when I started streaming, yeah, well, the answer is no. I always had a couple of people around, but when I started streaming on Twitch, sometimes I was streaming for like 5 people or so. So that's a bit, it. I mean, it's not. It doesn't feel lonely, but you constantly feel like you're responsible to keep the chat alive. You're constantly responsible to entertain people and to interact with everyone and to learn and get to know them on a very personal level.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was very lucky because when I started streaming, Reddit had this feature that you could start streaming, and every now and then the algorithm just threw a streamer on the front page, and this
Mhm.
happened to me almost every week, almost every single week. I just randomly got picked, and I was streaming. So in one moment I was streaming for 25 people, and then I was streaming for 25,000 people.
Oh wow.
That's a jump. And that's a quality of jump in the chat messages too.
Yeah. Your
But
hands get a little shaky when
oh
it goes
yeah,
up like
it was oh my god,
100x.
the nerves. I was so nervous, and I was at that time I didn't really adapted my repertoire to a non-classical guitar audience. So I was
Mhm.
playing, like Bach fugues and Invocation and Dance by Rodrigo and all sorts
I
of.
hear no issues.
You hear no
What, they didn't
issues.
like that?
I bet.
It-
Well, I don't know. As I remember, it wasn't. Those weren't my biggest hits. Those weren't my biggest hits for sure.
yeah.
But what I did there is that every time I finished streaming on Reddit, I said, "Hey guys, this stream is going to end, but if you had fun, we are moving to Twitch. We're moving over to Twitch, and I will keep streaming for another 2 hours." So like I used Reddit as like a teaser, to get some traffic and I don't know, just people to be seen, get discovered. And then I said, "We're moving to Twitch. This is the link. I'm sending the link in the chat. We're moving there. We're starting in 2 minutes." And I always started the Twitch stream because of that with, at least a couple of viewers. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that helped. So what I learned is that I always had to like figure out a way how to connect one traffic source to my other channels, to direct Instagram people to YouTube, YouTube people to Instagram and on Twitch, and just trying to show, people as many things as possible. Because I can't rely on discoverability of, the discoverability features of each platforms. It's easier to just, try and handle it yourself. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is this what you're afraid of? That no one, that you start streaming and nobody would watch?
Uh, I'm not really afraid of that because I actually don't mind that because that's how my channel started off. I think it took like 40 days for me to actually like find people.
Wow.
Or it's sort of like I was just like a lost ship and it was just like completely desolate. And like occasionally I would like cross paths with somebody. But then like 40 days in, that's when I like started seeing like consistent people and it was like actually growing. No, I think maybe being alone you'd probably like practice more effectively, maybe. So that wouldn't
I
even
don't
be
think
that bad.
so. I'm horrible at practice these days.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, sorry to
but
stop you. Go ahead. I didn't want to stop your thought process. I don't know. Just go ahead.
oh no, yeah, just like no, it took a while to like find people. But no, I think the thing that like deters me from streaming, I do enjoy the control of like editing. So like I like being able to like vet everything that I put out, and I can like watch like every moment of it, and then it's like I clear it. So I do like that.
I don't know. I found that it's really healthy, or like it helps me a lot to stream because I learned to be more okay with I don't know, with with all the things I'm normally not okay with, like mistakes, like stupid things I say, I don't know,
Hmm.
just things, or like, I don't know, just sometimes just looking goofy or like silly or not being all professional, not knowing to answer every single time, not having an opinion on every single thing people ask, not knowing everything. Like, sometimes people are just throwing in music theory related ideas or questions, and I'm like, I have no idea, man. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I
Get some
studied
music theory questions up in here.
I studied 15 years. I don't know. I don't know.
Give us your homework. Yeah.
And I used to feel like, so first of all, editing gave me this confidence that even if I'm not competent in something, or like I mess up something by accident, it's fine, because I can edit it and I can put out the best possible thing out there. And yeah, and potentially it's not going to hurt my public image. But
Yeah.
but then I
Yeah.
learned through streaming that, if I'm being silly, or if I'm just, I don't know, like if there's something on my teeth, nobody's going to not hire me for a guitarist for their event, or you know what I mean. It's just, people are
Yeah.
not going to cancel their subscription just because I say something stupid. And that's why I believe streaming is so powerful. It teaches you to be more okay with you. It teaches you to be, just a little bit more accepting with yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely see that. I have a similar feeling with like daily upload videos, because there are some videos that I just like send them, and it's just like I don't believe in this video at all, but it's a daily thing, so who cares?
Oh
It's
yeah.
almost like drowning it out with volume, just like more volume. So like any little like thing, it just sort of gets overshadowed over time.
Yeah, but you
So
know
yeah,
what,
I kind of get that.
with the daily vlogs, the thing is, you're uploading videos every single day that are heavily centered around your opinion on things, like
Yeah.
how you see things. And
Yeah.
that's, see, so this is,
It's
so if
it's a
this
very
was an
toxic thing
edited
for the
thing,
world.
I would
Yeah.
rethink this sentence, I would restructure it to sound less like a 5-year-old, and I would re-record it. See? So, but this is fine. Like, it's okay to sound like a toddler sometimes. I mean, for me at least, I'm okay
Oh
with it.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's really heavily like centered around your opinion, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure that there are videos out there about you, which about things that you think differently now, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
How do you
Like
feel
like
about that? Like, isn't it like a daily battle? Like, oh, there's this video, and you know what? Or like, there's a comment that pointed out something that I didn't think of, and it's changing my perspective. And now I think it differently, and now that video is not valid anymore. Like, you know what I mean,
yeah,
right?
oh yeah, yeah, that definitely happens. That happens all the time. I look at my channel, at least for like everything that I say. It's almost a way for me to actually form my opinions, which maybe isn't like the best thing for everyone else. It's really good for me, because I can actually like get them to come out in real time without having to like write them privately. I guess it's more like stimulating for me to like share it in the moment. And then yeah, I do revise like things that I say. Like I only talk about maybe 25 or 30 things on the channel, and I sort of just make the same video every month. So, like a lot of times it feels that way. And it'll just be a slightly different video. And I'm
But
hoping that
why?
one day, maybe I'll like in 10 years or so, I'll have these like 25 or 30 ideas like really flushed out, and I really believe them, and I'm like steadfast in it. And then I can like make a high production video about it or something. But this is just like a lot of crap that leads up to like something really good. So it's good for that. Like because I
Yeah,
have a lot
that's
of
good.
opinions now that have changed that I kind of had for like years.
Uh-huh.
So it's nice to like bounce it off people on YouTube. Um, it's sort of like having like a Quora. Like I can just like say anything I'm thinking and just see like what other people think about it. Um, but I kind of get that like every day. So that is like a benefit for
Uh-huh.
me.
You know what?
It's
It's similar. It's similar to what I kind of learned about myself pretty recently. So I think when I started streaming, I didn't really have like a solid value system or like a thing to say. Like a concept or like something I'm standing for, or like these ideas that I'm standing for. But I was still streaming. I mean, I was there. We were having a good time. I was connecting with a lot of people. There are community members who are still here from those days, and they are really valued members of this community, and I just really love them, and it was a good time. But I really didn't have much to say. I think I don't know,
Mhm.
23, 24. I mean, and I'm a late bloomer. So I mean, but then over the years, I just, because of all this streaming and because of all the time making these videos and thinking about music and thinking about guitar and thinking about the people that I'm talking to weekly, I just kind of figured out the things I'm standing for. And
Mhm.
by the time I had something, by the time I felt like I have something to say, I already have people who are there to listen. This sounds a
Yeah.
little bit pretentious. Maybe this doesn't sound
No,
too good,
you're
but I
talking to the exact right person for this. It's like, yeah, totally. You fake it till you make it, right?
no,
Well,
it's
just
like
curious,
if you
what
look
are
back. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry to stop you. Go
I
ahead.
was just gonna ask, do you like could you like articulate these ideas that you have, like these things that you stand for?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So it became, so it's more like what's important to me with my public presence. So it's not very much on a personal, so not necessarily my personal daily choices, but these are values that define the choices I'm making on the channel and the directions I'm taking with the channel, my YouTube channel, and my online presence. One of these things is that simple pieces shouldn't be undervalued. And as I grew up, like pieces like Lagrima, Adelita, Spanish Romance were so, so. Oh, what's the right word? Like underappreciated, or like, looked down, looked down because they are simple and
Yeah.
silly and everybody is playing them. And I also learned to think of these pieces like that. But once I started streaming, I started to look into easier pieces and figure out how to make them sound beautiful. And it turned out you can make very easy pieces sound very, very beautiful. And it can be a really cool way to hook new people in, to make them interested in classical guitar. It's like, what's it called in English? Gateway drug? Gate,
Uh,
you know,
that is something. That's
like,
yeah.
it's just, so first you learn to appreciate Lagrima, and then it's like, you're going to go to, eventually you'll end up with Rodrigo or Tansman or Brouwer. You get what I mean, right?
Oh yeah, no, I do. I'm trying to think of like a something that's not gateway drug. Maybe that's the best way to describe it for guitar at least. Yeah.
If
But
anyone
yeah,
has a
no,
better
yeah,
word,
definitely.
I'm open, but I think it's a good way to express what I mean. This is
Yeah.
actually something I was talking to Brandon, how it's something we really agreed on, how our responsibility as classical music performers is also to involve new people or involve people. So figure out how to, to get to them. And pieces like Spanish Romance is going to get to them. So why wouldn't we utilize that just because, just because of some kind of snobbish, outdated, I don't know, way of thinking. So that's really one thing. And the other thing I'm really standing for is that, classical guitar is really for everyone. And I'm coming from a background where, academics were kind of like looking down on amateur players, or not looking down, didn't take them seriously. Like, oh, they're just amateur players. They're learning how to play by themselves. Or people who picked up the guitar at, a later age. If you picked it up, as a young adult, it's like, oh, there's no way you can play well, or there's no way, you can be a valued member of this community. And that's also something I learned to live by. It's just if the culture around you is supporting this kind of behavior, you're going to pick it up. And then it's really, like I grew a personality over the past few years. And I figured, well, that's not nice. Maybe that's not how it should work. So for a couple of years, I'm really putting a huge emphasis on making adult learners and amateur players, you're making them feel comfortable and making them feel very, very included in this community, making them feel like they have valid questions, and if they don't know something, that won't make them less of a musician. So these two main things.
Yeah, that's good. It's funny listening to that because I feel like I jokingly perpetuate a lot of elitism.
Yeah.
But how I people who know me may be thinking that because I'll always say I don't know or whatever if you know what I'm saying, you do. But I like to feel that my channel, I'm introducing that elitism to the people who maybe never got to grow up with it, just to get a little bit of a taste of it. If you know what I'm saying?
No,
because they're always on the other side.
No, I don't.
I like to think that I'm sort of a gateway to the intermediate or adult beginners, where they can get some of the elitism too, and sort of be filled in on it, instead of just being on the receiving end of the elitism by the elites.
Yeah,
I might be sounding crazy here. I don't know. Just a thought, but that's how I like to look at it. That's how I sleep at night.
Well, maybe it's maybe I completely misunderstood your whole. Maybe I misunderstood your whole channel, because I thought this whole elitism is just a sarcasm. But now you're telling me this is true.
It is. Yeah, no, it is sarcastic.
I think you know what I was thinking about this the other day. I was watching. I don't know. I was watching a video of you and I remember some comments were mentioning this wasn't. It was a couple of weeks ago. So you got, the normal, you're an elitist comment, which I think you get quite often, right? Every now and then.
Yeah.
like per video. And I think a lot of people think you're an elitist because they don't get sarcasm. So I think sometimes people just think you mean these things literally. Don't you think so? I think they just don't get sarcasm.
Yeah, I think it probably takes a little bit of exposure to sort of get when I'm joking. I'm joking about a lot of stuff. Maybe it's hard to read. I've definitely gotten that in my personal life before. But my sarcasm's very dry. But
Yeah, I think if people start watching multiple videos, it kind of comes across that it's just part of this. We also have this self-deprecating humor here going on, so I think people here already get it. But if you first meet someone online, sarcasm is a very difficult thing, social thing to notice or pick up. I don't know. But
which it's probably my fault. I think fair to say, like if somebody's like having trouble understanding your sarcasm, it's probably the sarcastic person's fault.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole sarcasm is a weird thing because if we wanted everybody to feel involved, and if we wanted our message to get across as clearly as possible, we wouldn't use sarcasm at all, right? So it's
Yeah.
already like it already shows a little bit of almost an elitism on its
Yeah.
own,
Yeah.
right? So if we are using sarcasm, that's already like creating a barrier in common understanding, which is funny to think of. I never realized that so far. Maybe I'm an elitist too. Holy shit.
Probably. Yeah, of course.
Maybe I'm, I sometimes sometimes I think that the way I'm trying to fight against elitism, or like my elitist past, is turning me into a different type of elitist. Like, oh no, I'm not like that. Those are bad elitist people. We're better than them.
Yeah.
We are the new age elitist. And sometimes I feel like
Yeah.
this is where I'm going.
No, yeah, it's pretty hard to avoid, like when you get deep into something. I mean, we're all probably elitists. Everyone in the chat's an elitist, I'm sure.
You just single-handedly insulted, wait, how many people? I don't know.
Oh, 7. That's
Like
it?
70
For
70
insulting
people.
70 people?
Yeah,
That
you're
ain't too bad.
insulting 70 people. Look at that. How dare
Wow.
you? They
You're
won't
all
come to your
elitists.
next live stream.
I recognize a lot of names in here. Wow.
I'm the only non-elitist here. Yeah, sure, Dibimpa. Of course you are. Sean is
I'm
also not an elitist. Okay, that's good to know, people.
Yeah.
Let me have a look. Maybe, so the Q&A feature is not really working. That's cool. That's
Wow.
funny.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. That's too bad. I was looking forward to answering everyone's theory questions. The
Music
best I
theory.
can.
Yeah. All the, you know what? I will write down all the music theory question that I can't, I can't reply to.
It's been a while. My knowledge might be a little limited.
Yeah, don't even mention. I kind of faked
can't help
my
but avoid
way
it.
through university with music theory because I got into university without any music theory knowledge. So we were supposed to have an exam.
Wait, what do you mean no music theory knowledge? Like,
So
what does that mean?
I was studying at music school, and in our music school, the system was that you have to take 2 guitar lessons per week, plus 2 solfeggio lessons per week. And the solfeggio lessons later on, as you progress from a beginner or like a
Is that
6-year-old
like your
into
sight singing and stuff? And like singing? Is
yeah,
that
it
like your
starts
sight
it
singing?
starts out as singing and solmization. So for example, for me, sometimes it's really intervals and scales are actually pretty difficult because I'm thinking in solmization, and that's why it's just so awkward when somebody is mentioning different the modal scales. I'm like, why would you do that? That's
Yeah.
so weird for me because I'm coming from the solmization background anyhow. So
Yeah. Well,
and
and
as
you
you
come from a purely classical background too, right?
probably, I don't know. I really don't know. At this point, I just feel weird about all the things I actually don't know.
Well, yeah.
There's a
Well,
lot.
I'm just because like the whole like mode system, like just like having your diatonic scale and then like seeing your like 7 modes from that. That's such a like I feel personally, it's a very like non-classical guitar like starting place. Like because like here, like at least in the music school that I went to, we had 4 semesters of music theory. And basically the 4th semester, the last one, is everything that's involved in like self-taught guitar, like looking at like modes as like positions on the guitar.
That's
So
so
like all that
cool.
stuff I was completely solid with, but when it came to like functional harmony, it took me like a year to even like have that clicking moment of understanding like
What's
just
functional
dominant.
harmony?
Oh, just like the like differentiating between like a set of notes and like them all just being sort of equal versus like an actual like relationship between dominant and tonic, and that's like functional harmony, right?
What?
I might be. All right.
Well, I
Yeah,
don't get
it's
that.
just like. All right. Sorry, I might not be explaining it very well.
I'm just trying to figure out if if I learned it or not. If we had it in
I'm sure
our
you did.
curriculum in
Like just
Hungarian.
the idea of like you have like a major like key, and like the two important chords in that key are going to be the dominant chord, like in G major, like D7, and then the tonic chord, like the G triad.
Oh, okay.
And just how the notes like function with each other, or how or their relationship between
Okay.
those
Yeah.
notes.
Yeah. We did
Yeah.
that too.
So
Yeah. Sure.
yeah, so like instead of seeing the scale as like all equal like importance pitches, like just a G scale or whatever, but seeing these two different classes of pitches that like interact, where it's like tonic, dominant, tonic, dominant. So like that's the stuff that I didn't understand in school until like the second year. But everything like past that, like modes and stuff, I kind of got just from like my self-taught
I see.
days.
Yeah. I think where I got on the wrong track with this is that at the music school, if you were a really good guitarist like I was,
Yeah.
they just, I don't know, it was like I don't even remember if anybody asked me, but if you were a good guitarist, the way it worked is that you only went to guitar lessons and skipped all theory and solfeggio lessons, and you just didn't go to school for those lessons. Because I guess the logic was that because you were so good, you had to practice all the time and go to
Oh, yeah.
competitions and all. So at the end of my music school studies, that's when I realized that I was supposed to go to theory lessons. And I said, I want to apply to, to music college. And they were like, well, that might be a problem. And I was like, why? Because you never took any music theory lessons. And I'm like, well, when
Oh
was I
wow.
supposed
Huh.
to? So then they tried to speedrun me on, all the 6 years of music theory under a little bit over a year. And
Oh wow.
it wasn't too good. So I got some fundamentals, but then I was just so much behind for the curriculum that we started on at university. So through the whole university, I constantly felt that I was just trying to catch up. I was just trying to catch up, and by the time I understood something, I finally got the idea. We were already moving forward with the curriculum, and that's
Yeah.
why I never really developed like this calm confidence with music theory, I guess. But
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
classmates I had, they struggled with the same thing because apparently this is a thing in Hungary. I don't know if it's how it works in other countries, but if you're good at guitar and if you take competitions, they just don't send you to learn, how music works. Because you're
Yeah.
probably busy. You
Yeah.
should be busy practicing. You don't need all those, all that theory lesson.
Yeah, which I kind of get that. I feel like, at least in my schooling, I got so much stuff that wasn't guitar. Like I had to take like piano lessons and stuff. And I mean, for music theory at least, I was actually pretty fortunate just because I was able to take a lot of music and theory classes in my high school, like before university. Like even my freshman year, I took like a pretty extensive theory course that I wasn't even actually supposed to be able to get into as a freshman, but I just sort of like got in somehow. And then I also took like cello, like I took strings like all through high school, and then I was able to study jazz theory and performance
Oh my
at a
god.
separate school. So I basically missed out on like all my crucial education. Like I can't do math at all. Like my spelling's horrible. Like I didn't learn anything except for music,
I mean,
um,
that's
which is
fine
cool.
because like when do you need math on, in your everyday life? Like you have the
I mean, when I'm like buying milk, it sometimes is hard. I have to like, I'm just like, I don't know what this means. I have to like get somebody else to do it for me. No, I'm just
you
kidding.
just you know you
But
just you just pour all your coins on the on the
yeah,
counter
just like, can you count this for me?
tell them, please can you get the right amount out?
Is it that many or like that or like yeah? So that's hard. But I'm pretty comfortable with theory, which is cool. No, so like my education, like I was comfortable with all that stuff, and then even starting university, that was when I started playing classical guitar. So it
Mm-hmm.
was sort of the opposite, where like my actual playing ability was like highly stunted because I only played like electric and steel string up until that point. And
Hmm.
but I was comfortable with like all the theory already though,
That's so
because
cool.
I'd already studied jazz and all that stuff. So it's been a lot of
Huh.
catch up over the last like 6 or 7 years, just working my right hand, trying to get it better.
But are you happy with this order you got that you started with with more I don't know if electric guitar and jazz music, so you started with those styles and then transitioned to classical guitar? Do you think you benefit
Well,
from that?
yeah, it's hard to say like because I mean you can always like be happy in whatever situation you're in. I'm extremely grateful for the stuff that I got from that, which the stuff that I did get from that was a love of improvisation.
Hmm.
Which like improv is how I learn new stuff. Like so if there is like a new theory concept, I already know how to take theory concepts and apply them to my improvisation. And that's how I learn new stuff. So that's like a really useful skill for me. And I apply that to like classical. Like when I'm learning like a new piece on classical and there's just like a little right hand like thing, I'll move it through like, just like a major scale and just like yeah, like, just move everything around. But it makes it really easy to like see stuff and like change it, if that makes sense.
To
Like
see
I can
stuff and
improvise.
change it. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So
To
so
see,
it's
like, to think in patterns. That's what you mean, or what?
or not so much to think in patterns, but like just like theory concepts. Like I know like because that's how I learned theory concepts was through like improvisation. Like I'm just comfortable with doing that.
Hmm.
So it gave me a love for improv. Um, Now like it's easy for me to like look at sort of the opposite where you see these like amazing players who are like 18 and like maybe they didn't study that much theory but they only focus on playing, and it's like it would be nice to be like that proficient on guitar and maybe I could learn theory later. um but I don't know, I guess it's a balance, or I guess it's like there's pros and cons.
Hmm.
like uh like I think knowing like being proficient in theory I think has like made my ear a lot better. It's
Hmm.
given me like good musical feel. But yeah, no, now it's just like technique, building up technique is the big thing. That's what I'll be doing for the next like 6 years probably.
That's sick.
So it,
Hang on. I
yeah.
found, I think I saw like a question or something. Something, something about music theory. I remember seeing something music theory. Ta-ta-ta-ta. I think somebody asked why classical guitarists would need music theory. Here's your theory question. Here's your music theory
Oh,
question. Why
well,
classical guitarists would need music theory?
just like music theory is sort of just your way of like understanding what's going on with the music. Like like a really simple example, like interpretive ideas, like usually the dominant, which is like your tense chord with like the tritone, that's like a loud, harsh chord that resolves into the tonic chord, right?
Hmm.
So knowing that relationship, if you see like a tritone, like with the dominant bass, you know to like play that and make it prominent and then resolve it quietly into the tonic chord coming up. Like if you don't know theory, your teacher would just have to tell you play this one loud, play this one soft. And you don't really know why, Like
Hmm.
that's just one like simple like case of why theory will give you like better feel on your instrument, I guess. It also aids you with memory, of course. I mean, if you see like a run of notes like G to G with an F sharp in it, I don't think of that as G A B C D E F sharp G. I think of that as just like a G major scale. Like
Hmm.
that's theory, right? Like that's just gonna age your memory. I mean, there are countless examples of this. Like, especially when I'm learning like Bach, and it's all just like 2-5-1s, just like linear harmony, just like arpeggios through each like chord. Like, I'm not thinking of every single note, you know. Like, I just see a diminished arpeggio or whatever, and it's like 4 notes. I already know that. So, yeah, like without theory, it would be like impossible for me to memorize a fugue or something like that.
But I also think that I mean, correct, or like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like you can get away with a very, very basic level of understanding about music theory to play classical guitar. To play classical
Yeah,
guitar in, in the, I want to say, structure it in the right way. So, but what I mean is, to structure it in the conventional way, or like what we agreed on, that it's the right way to do it, right? So, but
yeah,
I think people don't have to be like very, very, very extremely good at music theory to do it, because classical guitar music is not that complex in terms of theory. And even if you don't know, so sometimes, a lot of the times I'm playing music, and sometimes there are these, chords with lots of extensions, or like, lots of extra notes. I have no idea. I couldn't name the chord, and I'm not really sure about what the notes are sometimes, but I'm just
yeah,
focusing on the bass on the bass chord. And that's just enough for me to, maybe the first 3 notes, maybe the, the first 4 notes, and then everything above that is just, just some kind of filler decoration maybe. And I'm learning them, of course. I'm playing all the notes, but I'm not gonna start to analyze them and figure out how the heck am I supposed to call that chord. I have no idea. I don't care. I'm just caring about the root and the function, right?
yeah,
And that's,
yeah.
that's pretty much like, you can pick it up pretty quickly. That's something I
Oh, yeah.
think.
No, and that's a great point. Because I think another like tremendous use case for music theory is actually explaining to other people what you're doing or what you want. So like if you wanted to tell somebody else like what that chord is, you would tell them like the extensions, and you could tell them extremely precisely like the chord that you're playing. But if you don't need to like explain it to anyone, you are still memorizing the chord, and we all sort of come up with our own like head theory, like just like theory made up on these concepts that are even hard to explain. They might be like pattern based, they might be like based in like music theory that we're taught in school, and just like other stuff. They might be based on like memories from when you were a kid, just like stuff that's only going on in your mind that you're just attaching to like a chord in a piece. But yeah, no, to like explain a chord to somebody, like that's why we have our agreed upon music theory. So which makes sense why maybe guitarists don't need as much, because we don't like talk to anybody. We're usually not
Fair
playing
point.
with other people. Yeah,
Yeah, we don't have friends, and we're just sitting alone playing at home, not
yeah,
playing with.
exactly.
Do you you know
So
do you
yeah,
play with I don't know, other guitarists, in just a regular basis, or like
I used
anybody,
to
any musicians?
like pre-COVID. I used to gig and stuff. Like I had a buddy who I would do a lot of like Motown gigs with. So that would be on like electric guitar, of course. Which are you familiar with Motown? It's just like a genre. It's very like or it's hard to explain. It's like soul, like funk oriented stuff.
Okay.
I think, yeah, I don't know the history of Motown. But yeah, I did a lot of gigs like that. I've done a lot of musicals too, or a lot. I think I've only done. I did Mamma Mia and Sister Act, where I played in the pit with lead guitar with those. So I've played in
Wow.
like ensembles like that.
Uh-huh.
Uh, yeah.
But like now,
And
I
I
mean,
mean,
now since you're
oh,
doing the practice logs, is it now a part of your life?
doing that stuff.
Like playing with others, just playing a duo, or just chamber music, any sort of chamber music.
No, not
Me
at all
neither.
right now. It's all solo, just classical music. That's pretty
Just,
much.
yeah, hiding in the bedroom, and yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Which is
same.
like which can be bad too. Like Like I definitely notice that like when I play for people, I get like more nervous than I'm comfortable with, just because I'm so not used to playing for people right now. So that's definitely something.
Mhm.
There is like a little place that I live near that I've only gone there once, but they're down with me just like playing for free. So I'll do that sometimes just to have other people hear me.
To feel less
Uh,
lonely, to to
yeah,
feel of the loneliness.
yeah, just to sort of like share a little bit
Uh-huh.
instead of just playing in my bedroom,
Yeah.
or in whatever this room is. But yeah, no, not a whole lot of gigging. I guess are you gigging a lot?
Oh, I'm actually doing the same. So it's not for free, but I don't know. I'm getting
Yeah,
like
good.
pocket money for that. Like
Congrats.
it's gonna
Oh,
be
all
in
right.
2 weeks or
Cool.
3 weeks. It's like it's just really really bad money, but I really wanted to do it because it's gonna be a nice event, and
Yeah.
it's a book publishing event thing where I'm going in I don't know 2 or 3 weeks, and it's shit money, but it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. That
Yeah.
sounds fun. I mean, I do stuff for free. So, better than that. I
Yeah,
do like
guys.
everything
So
for free.
if you want to support Sorehand's channel and and help him not to starve because of all the free gigs he's playing, check out the
Yeah.
Sorehand's shop, Sorehand's Shopify shop. We're gonna link that
Ruten's
in the
Delight. Ruten's Delight is the name of the store.
what?
We got new,
What's
yeah, Ruten's Delight. It's named after Boss Ruten, the MMA fighter extraordinaire.
huh?
Yeah. It's it's
Okay.
pretty good stuff.
Okay. I'll put that in the chat. In
Oh,
the
thank you.
meantime, while I do that, somebody asked, improvisation was very common back in the days. Why isn't it anymore? You mean in classical music? What about, yeah, improvisation in classical music? How it used to be
Yeah.
very common.
Oh, it's
What do
not
you
common.
think
Am I
about
answering that?
that?
Well, I'm not a music historian, so I don't know anything. But I can like postulate why it's not as common. Maybe it comes from like as time goes on, people like specialize in things. Because like obviously, if you just do one thing and only practice one thing, you're gonna get better at it. So if you're practicing improvisation and classical performance and like music theory, you have to spread yourself thinner. You can only practice each of those things like 3 hours a day at most for like a 9 hour work day if you have like nothing else going on. If you can practice performance for 9 hours a day and just forget about the other stuff, you're gonna get incredible at performing. Which is why we have like performers that are, I don't know if they're better than ever. Like I don't know how good like Paganini or like Soar was, but I feel like we have some people alive right now that are completely out of their minds good at guitar. So
Yeah. I think it's you know what I think it's similar to how Olympics work. So I don't know if you have ever seen those videos where they put together an old Olympic performance and like a Olympic gymnastic performance and the current one. And like the
oh
old
yeah,
one looks so silly compared
yeah,
to the current one. And it's
yeah,
just I think probably we're getting better and better at at figuring out ways to play this instrument or any instrument. Like our physical limitations are I don't know, we're just getting better at these physical things like sports. We have every single year or like years by years we have new and new records and milestones and like big shit happening. So I believe that it has to be the same in music.
yeah. Oh yeah, I would completely agree with that. Like it's just the evolution of things. Just it's the same everywhere. Like in sport, in music, like because I mean like performing an instrument is a very like athletic thing. Like it is like a sport, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, definitely. So that's
So
why improv isn't as important, maybe, or not like done as much. But improv is a very cool thing, though. I definitely encourage everybody to start dabbling in it, which it can be like difficult to know like exactly how you start dabbling. I mean, like one of my favorite ways to start is just pick like a scale, and it can be just a 1 octave major scale or a natural minor scale or whatever, and you don't even have to think about like function of the notes. Like you can just pick a note to play and just play to like a quarter note pulse and just go for as long as you can without like leaving the scale at all. And that's a great way to just start. And then as you get comfortable, just like make it 2 octaves, play in 2 different positions and switch between them until eventually you're just going through the whole neck. And then you can start like getting crazy with like picking like a chord progression and stuff. But you know, that's
the
like
next
my
step.
favorite.
That's the next step.
That's the next step. But just like a set of notes playing to a pulse. That's like my favorite way to get started. That's like what I do with my students.
And
Yeah.
if you guys are somebody who's who's using Solmization rather than scales, you can just the way I started to feel comfortable, because I started improvising when I was already playing guitar for 17 years or 16, 17, I think. And I never felt confident enough to improvise. I don't know, I just didn't feel comfortable with it. And the way I started is that I was just figuring out melodies in my head. I was coming up with little melodies I liked. And if I can hum it, I can probably play it on the guitar. If I hear the intervals in my head, I can find it on the guitar. And the more I practiced, just looking for intervals, like trying to sing something in my head or hearing something in my head, and jumping there on the guitar and thinking in terms of intervals, I started to feel like, I don't know, just better and better. I think it's maybe a more melodic way of approach, or not melodic. Just interval based approach rather than using scales. But
Yeah.
it's just an alternative.
Yeah.
We have Nick in the chat. Nick, hey, good to see you.
Hey.
We can thank Liszt and the development of their recitals for losing improv.
There we go. Thanks, Liszt.
Boom.
Liszt was a handsome man too.
True.
Wasn't he?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I didn't say
Fun
that,
fact,
you said that.
Fun fact for everyone. I like to tell this story about Liszt and Chopin because this is sort of a lot of like headcanon too. Like I like
Hang
to
on,
think
is
of
this going
Liszt
to
as
be
kind
a
of
joke?
a player type. The what?
Is this going to be a joke, like a list and shopping bag, or like
no.
one of those
No, it's not gonna
bad,
be a joke
horrible
like that.
puns. Those are really bad. The shopping list and I don't know. I thought it's going to be one of those. Okay, go ahead. You can go ahead.
Well, what I'm going to say, I hope somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm scared of being wrong on live. I'm pretty sure I'm right about this though. Liszt, he's like a player, like a handsome guy. Like he probably did well with the ladies, I imagine. And then like Chopin, like, also a pianist. Less, like he was kind of sickly. Like he probably didn't do as well, I would imagine. This is just what I'm thinking. But Liszt, like, it was really common back then to die of syphilis. Like it was just so easy to get and there's no cure for it. Liszt lived to be like 80 and he never got syphilis, but Chopin died of it like pretty young. Isn't that interesting?
Why did you throw this out here?
I don't know. Just it reminded me, or somebody mentioned Liszt, and Liszt lived to be really old. This was cool. You'd give like master classes when he was older. He seemed really nice.
You know what? You should use this as an icebreaker. Like any time you meet a new group, you should start with this.
Oh yeah. I can just self-destruct in front of them. They're like, like, what are you talking about? Yeah.
It's okay that we are getting to weird and horrible topics, because somebody just asked, what is your position on Scientology? And I know that you kind of just try to familiarize yourself with the religion.
Yeah. Well, I guess I know the most about one of the devoted members of Scientology, Stephen Ridley, which I'm sure you guys have probably seen his piano ads. He's a big proponent of improvisation too. That's like all he does, I think. I'm gonna learn more about it. I honestly don't know much, other than everyone says that it's really bad. I'm gonna give it a fair shot, I think. I'm just kidding. I don't know. But yeah, hopefully that's a sufficient answer. In short, I don't know. It seems like it's not good though.
Yeah, it seems like it's not good though.
Yeah.
Let me have a look around. Maybe is
Oh
let's
yeah, I
see.
wanted to ask you,
Go ahead.
the word soul, it reminds me of like my word solfege. So, like, how do you think of scales? What is that word?
I like
Or
I said solfeggio because I thought that's how you
oh,
say it in
solfeggio.
English.
Okay.
I thought that's the English word, isn't it?
Oh, I thought
We
you were
say
saying a different word.
solfège in Hungarian.
Oh,
Solfège.
sol. Okay, I see. All right. Yeah, yeah, okay. I
It's
didn't learn that until
the do re
college,
mi
but
fa sol la ti do. I mean, we
oh
use
yeah.
ti. Some countries use si. Do re mi fa sol la si. I think sol la si la. Sol la
Yeah.
sol la si do. I think some countries use that. No, we don't use that. We are using a different solmization system. So there's a
Oh,
couple.
Solmization. That's the word that
Solmization,
you said.
yes.
Okay. All right, I got
Solmization.
you.
Yes, solmization. I think that's the word. Is it a word? Chat, correct me
There it
if I'm
is.
wrong. I think it's a word, but sometimes I make up words because I'm speaking this Hunglish, like I'm kind of like using Hungarian words and I'm like Englishifying them, and it's just. But then it turns out it's not a real word, so I could be wrong. No, it's yeah. So even I think the modal scales I would approach all of them just by just listening to the intervals and figuring out which solmizational note to start from, because obviously you can start from do, you can start from re, it doesn't matter, and the intervals remain the same, which is
Yeah.
for people who are thinking in alphabetical notation or like alphabetical scales, it sounds to them as a horrible system. But for me, that sounds like a horrible system. Like it sounds like to me, learning each scales and learning each modes one by one. It sounds like
Mhm.
learning all of them, like learning different ones. But when I think of them as solmization, it's like you just have to learn the solmization once, and you just start from a different note every single time. And it seems
Yeah.
for me, solmization kind of seems like a bit of an easier way, but at the same time, it doesn't give you as deep of a knowledge. It's like a pattern or like a template. You just pop on everything, and you go by. But at the same time, it doesn't give you as deep of a theoretical understanding, I believe. I
Yeah.
guess. I don't
I
know.
think having something like that's important still. Um, I don't know, because you can rely on just theoretical understanding, but I feel like the way that I think of things, which will always be the fastest in my mind, is just thinking about like patterns on the fretboard. And like I can apply like the concepts, like the theory concepts to it. But the fastest way for me to figure out a perfect fourth will always be string crossing. Like it just, if I'm thinking of like A to D, like there's no way. But if I think fifth fret, like
Uh-huh.
those two strings, like it's always going to be faster.
Uh-huh. I
Like,
see.
yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. It's that's the guitarist theory. It's like it
Yeah.
it comes back. We just it's coming back to when you said everybody has some sort of basic theory knowledge, but then we all figure out a personal way how to shapes, how to connect shapes and I don't know, just visualizations into it. Everybody has their own way to make it function.
Yeah.
Let me
And
have a
and I
look.
think we're
Go
made to
ahead.
feel guilty about it as guitarists, because I find that that's sort of like a thing between like the classical world and like the self-taught world, or like
Yeah.
other genre, which is like messed up. I'm putting self-taught and other genres in the same category, but like separate from classical. Like I feel like in classical we're made to sort of feel bad about recognizing patterns, and that's not really. It's the same thing in the jazz world too. Like when I was taking jazz lessons, but when I would talk to other instrumentalists, like I remember there was one flute player where she was telling me like like the way she would like figure out scales is just like fingerings on flute. Like if you like if you have an instrument and you have like a deep understanding of the instrument, it's a really powerful thing. And I think it's kind of silly to not use that to like aid your like theory understanding, because you can use it to you can apply it and it'll make understanding theory a lot easier. Like I personally believe like if you learn how to play a major scale with no understanding of the major scale, you just learn where your fingers go
Mm-hmm.
and you can play it well and you can like hear what it sounds like, it'll make it way easier to actually understand what a major scale is going forward.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I'm sure it's also easier the other way around. Like if you learn what a major scale is and then learn how to play it, and then like I think there's many ways to skin a cat, I guess is what I'm saying. You can I
Beautifully
guess that's what I'm
said.
trying to say.
Yeah, what I think is a potential problem in both learning directions is that, so when you go to any of these extremes, you just get, kind of, how should I say this? Let me think how to phrase this. I don't want to get the wrong message across. So when you learn when you learn music theory purely, on a theoretical level and without recognizing the patterns and without relying on, the what can be learned about the layout of this instrument, you just go to that direction, and sometimes it never translates or transforms into into practical knowledge. And
Mm-hmm.
and people who go to that direction and go there for too long, they kind of seem like they are taking pride in in being, at that end, and they seem like they are not even trying to turn it into a practical thing. You know what you understand what I'm getting at, or where I'm
Oh
getting at.
yeah,
While at the same time,
absolutely.
if
Yeah.
you are solely learning these patterns, you feel like, oh, I don't need to learn the theory behind them. I can just play them, and then the practical knowledge doesn't translate into like a deep knowledge, like an understanding. It never translates into an understanding. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, no,
both ways are good for learning, but they can turn into very extremes.
yeah. No, I like to think of that stuff as like pillars that hold up your musicianship. And it's
Hmm.
like it's not bad to have more than one pillar. It makes it more sturdy,
Yeah.
And that's another point with like memorization. Like why does theory like help you with playing guitar? Like the theory acts as one of those pillars. Like pattern recognition is one of those pillars as well.
Hmm.
If one pillar falls, there's like more pillars holding up your piece or whatever you're playing, your performance. So yeah, it's never bad to just have more than one way to see things.
Yeah. We should wrap this to wrap. I'm having trouble with with English W. I'm horrible with that. But I think we should end this stream with maybe just, talking a little bit about what your plans for your channel nowadays, like what you are working on as a musician, like what you prioritize, because we gave a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of, I think we were talking a lot of bullshit about, how things should be done, and how good musicians should function,
Yeah.
but then we didn't talk about what we are doing. We have all
Yeah.
this wisdom, and then we go away and, we practice on our stupid silly little ways. I mean, I don't know about you,
Yeah.
but my practice is horrible these days. I'm just so not effective.
Oh well, I fast forward through all my practice. That's another reason why I wouldn't want to stream either. Because like when I watch myself practice, it's just like I wouldn't. This isn't acceptable. I wouldn't like recommend anybody practice this way. I don't know how I made it this far. Um, but no, like yeah, things that I'm working on now, which I kind of talked about this, like just pretty much like some left hand technique, but a whole lot of right hand technique. Like I'm trying to dedicate at least like an hour and a half of
Hmm.
just I am scales, like 6 notes at a time, like little bursts, da 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 da. Um, like that. like just trying to build up my speed with that. But yeah, because I'm just finding in a lot of the music that I'm playing, because music I'm playing is like quite hard for me. There's just like little limitations in like my left hand, but a lot of my right hand, I think that I just need to like hunker down on some fundamentals for like a year or so, just to like
Wow.
get somewhere with that. Which I'll know the answer soon, because like I'm applying for grad schools for this upcoming fall, so I will be like picking a school by then, and hopefully my professor will be able to guide me with where I need guidance.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, I like, so it's mainly that one thing right now, just like technique, which I never think is a bad thing, just to work on like one thing at a time. Like it's okay to drone technique for like hours a day and just do that for a
It's
long time.
okay.
And
People
to
really needed to hear this. There are so many people in this chat who are just working on their techniques 5 hours a day, and they're like, ah, but is this okay? Now they know.
yeah, yeah. Well, and you know, like sometimes, like I think we try to like divide things up, like 15 minutes of technique, 15 minutes of this, whatever. You can just do like 3 hours just technique. That'll never hurt you. And you know, I like to do that. But yeah, that's mainly what's up with my practice right now. That, like grad school, editing. I have to edit after this. Um, yeah. What's up with your practice? How's that coming along?
Ugh. Well, as I told you earlier, I haven't practiced at all today, but I don't think I will. 7:30. I need to eat because I haven't eaten for like 9 hours. No, 7.5 hours. I haven't eaten. So yeah, for me, practice is really not as consistent as it used to be. But the thing is, and this is going to sound very, oh, this is going to sound very pretentious, but I've been playing classical guitar for almost 20 years, almost 20
Mhm.
years classical guitar, and I really had some of the best teachers in Hungary. I was really lucky, but I also like worked my ass to get to their classes, get in their classes, and at university, I spent all my time and all my money on taking even more lessons, going to all the festivals, getting lessons with really, really, really noted guitarists. And now, after when I finished music university, I think I had pretty much the same technique as what I have right now. I don't think
Mhm.
it really improved, but my musicality have improved a lot, and I calmed down. So when I came out of university, I could hear on my playing every single time that I'm trying to please people, like I'm trying to make people accept me, and I'm constantly like seeking for these like approval. Like my playing was just really soaked of that, and I was constantly looking for approval in my playing. And now it's pretty much gone. But I still, even if I'm not practicing much technique and I'm not really working on my technique, it's just not really going anywhere just yet. Just yet. If I
Mhm.
if I'm not practicing in a smart way, or like if I'm not practicing regularly, intentionally for a couple of months, I start to notice that okay, I can't do the things that I was able to do like 1 year ago, and then it's just a matter of a couple of weeks to gain it back. Just a bit
Yeah.
of a few weeks of intentional playing, and I'm back there. So because of this, because that I rarely feel the technical challenges at this point in the music I pick and I choose to play, I feel like a dip in motivation to
Yeah.
learn new pieces. Every single time I open a new piece, even if it's very difficult, I know that I have all the tools to solve it. And I know that, okay, this piece, it might take me 2 years to learn it, but I already know how to learn it. I know the steps, and I can draw like a path. This sounds very bad. I know this sounds very bad, but it's just 19 years is 19 years.
No, don't feel bad. You earned the right to feel this way. You know, if anyone thinks you're pretentious for this, like, did they practice 20 years?
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
They go to
yeah,
all the festivals?
yeah. Really
Yeah,
spent all
no,
my
I
money
I
on that.
completely, yeah.
So I find it really
I
difficult, to get motivated to learn new pieces. It was easier to jump into pieces just a couple of years ago. Now I'm trying to go back to pieces that I always wanted to learn, but I kind of stopped because of my social presence. For
mhm.
example, Tansman Pasakaya. I never finished that piece because it's a multiple year commitment,
Yeah.
and it's not too rewarding in the sense of like social social justice. What do I want to say?
Like no one will care.
No one will care. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like it's a very righteous path that going down that one is. There's no reward. It's just
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. And it's just, it's not learning a piece like learning Tansman isn't going to get you social approval, isn't going to get you money. It's just going to, but it's still going to take you like 4 years, to finally feel like, okay, I got this.
Yeah.
So I'm now going back to a couple of pieces like that.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like, okay, this is going to motivate me again. And a new thing is composing. I finally feel like, okay, you know what, I have the right to compose. If all these
Oh, cool.
people have the right to compose, then I'm gonna compose too.
Oh,
And
you definitely have the right to compose. You should see what these modern people are doing.
yeah, I think, why do they do that?
Yeah, it's horrible. It's
Yeah.
like, oh my God, keep it in your desk. My Lord.
Oh yeah, some
You
of the
think you
modern
sound bad.
compositions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
get so,
composing is cool.
it is
That's
cool.
definitely like a place like I that I've always cared about composition. That's been something on my mind. Not so much these days. But that's cool that you're thinking about it.
Yeah, I kind of started, and they are just silly little things, like short little pieces. Because obviously, I can't hold together bigger concepts. Obviously, I'm not writing a sonata,
Yeah.
for as a very beginner. But it's a really good thing for me, and what's really fun about it is that I feel like a beginner again,
Yeah.
but on a field that I truly care about, because it's still music. I really care about music. It's just something I am a beginner at, so I have to approach it with this with a beginner mindset, with the beginner appreciation and excitement, and that's pretty cool. That's
Oh
pretty
yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
sounds good.
Do you or one last thing. Do you compose away from the guitar or with it? Or
Uh,
both?
two kind of two ways. One
Hmm.
is a lot of the things are just coming from improvisation, because I'm a lot of the times I'm just playing melodies, and or like
Yeah.
with simple accompaniment, melodies and chords, and that's it. So a lot of the ideas are coming from that, and then I expand that. But a lot of the times, for example, the other day I just heard something in my head, it's just, I don't know, and this sounded cool, and I hum it on my phone,
Yeah.
or I sit down and I try to play just the single melody line. I play the single melody line and I record it on my phone, and my phone is full of these really bad looking recordings of me playing weird angles, and sometimes I just record these and forget about them and never look them up. I don't know. Sometimes it's just how they end up. But yeah, this is basically the two main ways. Sometimes I just hear it in my head. That's just a melody, and then I try to put it on the guitar. And sometimes I start improvising, and I'm like, huh, this is pretty cool. We should write it
Yeah.
write it down. Yeah.
That's
Let's see the
cool.
chat. Let's see the chat, and maybe we can have like something if there's a final thing coming up. Cappy, do you have any questions? The chat was working. I just decided not to ask them your questions. I just, I didn't like your questions, so I didn't ask them. But if you have any other good question, I can ask to Cameron. I'm happy to do it. Um, ta, 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 ta. What's up with the YouTube Shorts? His channel answer is covered by your channel name. Oh no, I the layout. People are complaining on the layout. Well,
Oh
the
no.
thing is, it looks really nice on Twitch. So if you want to get the full experience for the last 2 minutes of this stream, just head over to my Twitch channel and check it out for yourself. The Twitch layout is just beautiful. It looks wonderful. Um, ta, 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 ta. Yeah, I see. We got a couple of new followers on Twitch. So thank you guys for following the channel. I really really appreciate it. Ta, 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 ta. I have a question. Are there wrong notes in own composition? Are there wrong notes?
Yes.
Go ahead.
That was my answer. No. That's wrong notes in your own composition. No, I don't think so. You can like clumsily use notes, but that doesn't make them wrong or bad. And it doesn't make you bad if you do that. Like, so no, I don't think so. There is a way that you can use, like, at least if we're talking about just like our 12 note system, you can use all 12 notes and make it sound like very purposeful, through the use of like embellishments and like using them to like pass between like notes of a scale or chord that you're composing in. But you can also use them to sound clumsy, or you can use them to be atonal. So no, there's no wrong answers.
Yeah, I think it really depends on what you want to hear. So like when I'm trying to compose something, I play a chord, or no, I play a note, and then I'm like, this is not the right one. Then it's a wrong note, right? So I'm gonna pick a different one. So in a very fundamental level, that's how I would imagine wrong notes in a composition. But
Yeah,
any note can be good as long as it supports your intention. As long as it's aligned with where you're going. Yeah. So, for
yeah,
example, I imagine if you're playing, if you write a piece which has like a theme, and the theme repeats maybe 3 times, and on the third time there's just one note that you change in the theme. It can be, if it's because you messed it up, it's a wrong note. If it's an intentional thing to maybe to change the perspective of the piece, to change the message of the piece, it's a right note, right? It's that simple.
yeah, yeah. The like intention of your composition matters a lot, because I think we can get caught up in like wanting our composition to sound like something that's not us. Like I want my composition to sound like Mozart or something. And perhaps some notes is like in there that you added in is what makes it not sound like Mozart or whatever you're trying to emulate. So those could be wrong notes, I guess. But without like any sort of like preconceived notion of composition, you're just like making music, you know. Like obviously if you want to emulate something, you'll need to study the thing you're trying to emulate. And then there are very much wrong notes. And that's like what you learn in counterpoint and like your Western music theory classes. Like you learn all about wrong ways of doing things.
Yeah.
But that's just one style. So if you're not trying to emulate that style, then no. That's like a meme. Like you see like the parallel fifths thing, everybody's like up in arms about parallel fifths. That's only like one style where we care about parallel fifths. Like outside of that, they're pretty prevalent. And you're not bad for using them.
It's funny how long of an answer we got out of this one thing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, because first, Kansas Sin. Don't get me wrong, but first I was like, "There's no way we can talk about this because I'm like, well, there are and there aren't," and I thought, yeah, that's it. But we got a lot out of this.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times when I'm filming, like in the chair, it'll just be a comment like that, and I'll like 40 minutes or 30 minutes will just go by where I'm just talking. And
That must be
yeah.
fun to edit.
Yeah, it's as long as I'm saying stuff that's like good. It's like, yeah, this is a great take. Then it's fun to edit. But if I like hate what I'm saying and I disagree with it, I'm just trying to like change words around to like make it seem like something else. And it's a challenge. Sometimes you just scrap them too. I've like deleted sections that are just bad.
All right. I think this is a good point, to end the stream and grab some lunch. And I'm going to let you go to edit the video.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Because it's important. It's important. We all can't wait
Yep.
for the new
Oh,
video.
yeah. Tomorrow's video. Look out for that.
Yeah,
There'll be one the next day and the next day.
Yeah.
Forever and ever.
Guys, if
Before I
anyone is not, if you don't follow Sore Hands yet, make sure to you can see the the channel name on screen on screen on the screen. But I'm gonna give you a handle real quick.
Oh, thank you.
There we go. So make sure to give Sore Hands a follow. And yeah, and thank you so much for joining me on this live stream. This was very, very fun, very much fun.
Oh yeah, it was super fun. Thanks for having me.
I didn't expect it's going to, go so well. I thought it's going to, break and I don't know. I just expected some random problems, but so far it seems really good. I need to, you know what? I'm going to watch it back or like some part, and that's when I will see. Oh no, it was a mess. But at least it felt good. It felt good
audio.
from the inside. Yeah, I was just talking with myself. Oh my god, I would love that. Next time I will do that just for the joke.
Oh yeah, good.
Good idea. Yeah. And people can like narrate you and figure out, like, think what you would say.
Yeah, they can just use AI to make me say something messed up.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, we can do that. All right. Well, this was fun. I hope I hope to see you streaming here with me some other time too. It would be really fun if you would join me in the future. But no pressure. Yeah. Now I'm just bringing it up because there are all these people. So now you can. It's like it's like when you're proposing in public. Like, when all the people are looking, and you're like,
of course,
shit.
Yes, I will definitely be here again. I'm not blocking you after this or anything like that.
Good.
Yeah.
You guys heard him. So we'll leave it here. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye. Bye. See you guys. Bye.